Greetings and salutations, my friends, and welcome to a new video, one of my absolute favorite ones to make. And after the week I've been having, I thought it was mighty time to sit back, relax, have a cozy evening together full of reading, cozy hobbies, some baking, and some overall really good chats. This is a cozy bookish sleepover, as you might have been able to tell by the title of today's video. I love grabbing these little corners and pockets of peace where I can just check in with myself, see where I'm at, and give myself some time to do the things that I love. And a cozy bookish sleepover is exactly that for me. Alongside the slow days in my life vlogs, I love taking an evening to uniquely read and prioritize the things that I love. And this week has been rough, so I definitely need some downtime. I also have not been able to read this week like I would have liked to, and I am nearly done with one book. I definitely want to start another, and I've chatted about this before, about how I love sleepovers. I think it is a perfect opportunity to, again, prioritize some downtime, chat with some friends, catch up, see how everyone's doing. And I used to be the biggest sleepover kid when I was younger, and even now as an adult, I try and make those moments still happen with the people in my life, you guys included. And so welcome to a cozy bookish sleepover, where I'm sure a lot of my favorite things will go down. I'm sure I'll end up crocheting at some point. I know we for sure are baking, because I have got some cookie dough chilling in the fridge since yesterday, so you know it's gonna be mighty good when the dough has been chilling for 24 hours. I'm watching Love Island right now, and there's a lot to talk about, and I know some of you guys are watching it too. And today there is also an episode coming out, so there is that to do. We're gonna cook at home, take it slow. I have got some labne in my fridge with some sartad, and I'm very excited to snack on that tonight. So overall, it is lined up to be a very cozy, very yummy, very laid back evening. So we need to chat about reading plans, what I'm reading right now, what I'm about to finish, and essentially where I want to go with my reading for the next couple of hours with y'all. But before we get started with today's cozy bookish sleepover, I do have to give a massive shout out to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring today's video. So if you guys are anything like me, I love working remotely. I love going to coffee shops, going to different restaurants, accessing public Wi-Fi, working outside of my usual environment. And for me specifically, it is incredibly important to stay safe, specifically with the data that is being sent from my device to the internet. And that is where a VPN becomes most helpful. A virtual private network is exactly what Surfshark VPN does. They switch your IP address for a new one. It essentially switches your location and all of your personal information, which is a goldmine for hackers, which is easily accessible through public Wi-Fi, to make sure that whenever you are browsing on the internet, being in public Wi-Fi, or even in the safety of your own home, you can stay safe as you navigate the internet. Not only is this incredibly beneficial to keep yourself safe from big companies and cyber criminals, but it also has the benefit of unlocking libraries that otherwise wouldn't be available in the country where you're at. So let's say here in Panama, I can't access Peacock, but through using Surfshark VPN, I can actually go into Peacock and watch Love Island, which is currently airing right now. So the benefits do extend far more than just protecting yourself on the internet. And one of my favorite things about Surfshark as well is that they keep it honest. They always say if you try it out and you don't like it, they do have a 30-day money-back guarantee, just in case it did not work out for you. So if you are interested in Surfshark VPN and encrypting your data and protecting yourself on the internet as you browse, unlocking libraries that aren't available to you, and being able to world hop with their 32+ servers across 100 different countries, make sure to check Surfshark out in the link at the top of the description, and go to surfshark.com/Mel and use code MEL to get 4 extra free months of Surfshark VPN. It does not get better than that. Make sure to check them out, and we can get right on started with our cozy bookish sleepover. Let us go into some reading plans for this evening, because I did pull out 2 things that I have not yet started for my shelves that I'm like, maybe it would be nice to start these this evening or tomorrow morning when we're wrapping up the vlog. However, the one thing I know I have to finish tonight is actually Kiki's delivery service. I am almost done with the book. I started this, I think it might have been, yes, definitely last Sunday. And while I got through 100 pages in a single sitting, I am still not done with the book because I've read very sporadically this week. So I'm currently 164 pages into Kiki's, and this book I think is like 190. So I just have this little bit left right here of the book. So we'll definitely finish this very quickly tonight, and I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely giving all of the wholesome vibes that I thought the book would. I've obviously watched the Kiki's Delivery Service film, and I love it. I do think it has a little bit of an abrupt ending, but Studio Ghibli movies sometimes end like that, and this was one of those cases. However, I'm hoping that the book wraps up a little bit better and gives me like that final sense of finality. It's like a little bit redundant, but I hope it gives me that feeling more than the movie did. However, in this book, we follow our main character, Kiki, who is recently turning 13 years old, which is the coming of age for witches. At the age of 13, every witch must find a town to go to, completely separated from her family, in order to lend her magical talents to said town. Kiki is told specifically by her mother to not choose a big city or a big town because they are often very frightened of witches, and they're very standoffish as opposed to small town folk, which are very welcoming, and they are typically more down with the idea of exchanging goods and services with a witch. Kiki, however, has different plans because she'd love to go to a big city. She is really tired of small town living. In fact, she doesn't quite know how she feels about being a witch. Generationally speaking, witches have lost their powers progressively throughout the years, and a lot of talents and gifts have been lost through time. And although she has learned 2 magical gifts passed down from her mother, the gift of flying and the gift of herbology, she doesn't really care for herbs, and she loves flying. However, she doesn't want to be restricted by that of a small town and its townfolk. And so as she's browsing and she's flying around, she ends up finding the town of Koriko that she immediately finds very picturesque. It's a seaside town, it's rather big, and it's sort of everything that she's dreamed of. However, when she docks in said town, she realizes very quickly that the townfolk are not so welcoming, and that what her mother had warned her about is very true. They are very standoffish of witches, and they have a completely different viewpoint of what witches are and what they do. And they're kind of immediately scared of Kiki, even though she is a child, and it takes a lot for her to win people over. But that is essentially the purpose of the whole book, is getting to see Kiki go through all of these different missions and errands and working for the town, and slowly but surely winning over the townspeople so that she can potentially get to stay at Koriko and finally settle in and build her life on her own. And again, it's a very wholesome book, although at times it can be repetitive because Kiki is going about mission over mission over mission. They're all very different. However, it can be very one note. It's a middle grade though, so I can't complain too much. It's giving me that escapism and that feel-good feeling that I am seeking out of the reading experience, so I can't really complain too much about it because I know what I'm getting myself into when I'm getting into a book like this. However, out of the things I am thinking of starting and reading throughout this cozy bookish sleepover, we first have got Cat Massage Therapy Volume 2. I did read Volume 1 last year and I love it. It's literally about cats who are masseuses to people who are obviously very weighed down by the everyday living, who work corporate jobs and they just need a chance to wind down, and cats are coming to the rescue. It's, again, very silly, very wholesome, but I think maybe this throughout this cozy bookish sleepover could be very nice, especially when maybe my brain's a little bit tired, or even maybe tomorrow morning to wake up and read something very cute. And then I have got Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan, which you guys already know. I did mention in my mid-year freak out book tag that I wanted to read this within the next week or 2. As I mentioned earlier, I'm watching Love Island, and 2 of the people that I've been shipping the entire season, Nick and Alandria, are finally getting to know each other. And based on some things that have happened over the past 2 episodes, I am in dire, desperate need of a romance, and this will do it. So I definitely think we're gonna pick this one up over the course of our evening together, and it serves us right because I think, pretty sure the last time I did a cozy bookish sleepover, I actually read Before I Let Go, and I read most of it in the vlog. So what more to do than to read the third book in the same series? And so these are my reading plans. Hopefully I'll get to all of them throughout our time here, and I think it's gonna be really, really good. Welcome to the kitchen. We are about to plop the first round of cookies into the oven. It's been preheating since I was filming the intro and showing you what I am going to be reading this evening. I'm making a brown butter chocolate chipless cookie. It's the Broma Bakery recipe, and then I actually made the ones with chocolate chips, and I made those yesterday, but I figured let me actually chill this dough fully overnight versus an hour, which is what I did with the other dough. This is how much dough I have left out of the batch I made yesterday. And then we're also gonna take some cookies over to Gabby, my neighbor, the one who crochets, the one who does crochet for a living. You guys know her. I will take her a couple cookies so that her and her husband can have some. And then we're going to watch Love Island. I think we're probably gonna end up watching Love Island before I actually read, mostly because the episode is coming out in like 20 minutes or so. Absolutely sitting down with my Lepne and then watching Love Island and the mess, because they're coming back from Casa Amor today, and the whole villa is gonna come together because they switched the dynamic entirely, and I am hoping that my ship stays together, okay? And I'm also curious to see what'll happen to some other couples that we have seen be quite strong thus far, so it's gonna be an interesting night in Love Island. I'm very excited about it. Dude, I swear to God, tonight's episode of Love Island felt like rage bait of the highest regard. I totally just pushed the weight out of the way. That felt like rage bait. I am so angry because my ship fell down, and it fell down because of them. They were like, oh my God, we don't have a romantic connection. Liar! Traitor! I feel like Palpatine right now. I'm like, it's the reason then. Because there's no freaking way. I feel like they were really intimidated by what they had to do if they got together, which I was talking to some of my patrons about. They just didn't want to own up to their chemistry and to their connection after the recoupling after Casa, and so they decided to go their separate ways. And I also just need Alandria to wake the hell up, because Taylor is not into her, and it's really starting to piss me off. Please hold. I'm gonna look for some Ziploc bags because the cookies are done, and I don't know about you guys, but I freeze my cookies. Like, they're done, I don't leave them be. I freeze them right away after they're obviously done cooling, and I just eat them frozen because that's just the way to go. I did take some cookies, as you can see, to Gabby and her husband, and they ate them all. She already sent me a picture. She's like, they're gone. They were really yummy, so I'm glad that they enjoyed the cookies. And now we get to freeze the rest of these. I might leave one out because I might just eat one of these when I am reading later. However, I am mad. I am really freaking pissed off because Alandria really needs to wake up. If you're watching Love Island, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Taylor is just not into her. And I'm genuinely starting to believe that Taylor's just not into dark-skinned black women, because the way he's been shunning and rejecting every single one of them in this little villa and settles for the one girl who isn't dark-skinned, listen, it's giving a very specific vibe, and I will die on that hill. That dude is not, no vale ni un centavo, jóvenes. Throw the whole man away, honestly. Because the way she keeps going, oh my God, Tay, oh my God, Tay, oh my God, that's my cowboy, oh my God, that's my man. Girl, you said it yourself. If somebody else can come in and take your man from you, he was never your man to begin with. And the way that he was just never that into her, it reminds me of the movie, what's it called? He's Just Not That Into You. I need Alandria to get the freaking hint, because she is gorgeous. She is also so emotionally mature. I think she just has bad taste in men, and it shows. So I need something to happen. I need a miracle to go down. I need our girl to pair up with somebody good, because my ship fell down tonight. And while I'm not completely losing hope, I am angry. That episode made me so freaking mad. I am ready to sit down and read Kiki's delivery service, because it's the one thing that'll save my night. That episode, pure rage bait. After my little rage moment in regards to Love Island, I sat down and I finished Kiki's delivery service, and I think I'm giving it 4 stars. I feel like that sounds like a solid rating to me. It's definitely not giving me that 5-star feel, but it definitely delivered on what I was, again, seeking out of the experience, which was wholesomeness and coziness and an overall feel-good time without having to engage my brain too much. And in that regard, I'm really happy. I was very surprised to see just how different the book is from the film, because you would expect these things to be pretty play-by-play, especially because it's an animated film. But I'd already heard, specifically in the case of Howl's Moving Castle, that the movie and the book are very, very different. It was very interesting spotting elements in this one that show up in the movie as a huge plot point that don't necessarily show up in the book at all. I was also pleasantly surprised to see that the ending is not abrupt. It fully makes sense. It comes beautifully full circle with the start of the book and Kiki not necessarily wanting to leave, but her mother pushing her to do so. I really enjoyed seeing her fully come to her own and make friends and make connections in the town of Koriko, which is where she lands, and then also finally feeling at home by the end of the book and feeling like she has found the one place that feels like it's hers, with full acceptance from the people around her. And that was really beautiful. I really, really enjoyed this one. And now I don't know what I want to start. I feel like maybe for a little bit of a palate cleanser before I fully get into the thick of Can't Get Enough, which I know will consume my every thought, and it'll be so difficult for me to stop reading that when I finally do start it. I feel that I maybe need to start Cat Massage Therapy Volume 2, because also this is very short, and I think in comparison to a lot of other manga that I read, from my experience with Volume 1, this doesn't have nearly as much text as manga typically does. It's also in full color, which is also very, very exciting because manga doesn't tend to be. And I think it'll be a breeze to get through. Plus cats, it's always a nice little boost of serotonin. So I think this will be the next thing to tackle, because why not? Why not keep on going with the coziness? I also am feeling it is approaching that time of night where I might want to take my makeup off, and I might want to take it off earlier just because my skin has been feeling really, really dry. And typically also when I go to Taekwondo, feel my body runs on hot the rest of the day. And right now my body feels still kind of hot and sweaty, even though I did get back home. I showered, I washed my hair, did the thing, I obviously did my makeup. I feel like I'm still running on hot, and I am feeling a little bit weak just because the training this week has been intense. I nearly passed out on class on Monday, which I know is like a crazy thing to say, and it's never happened before. The rest of the week, training wise, has also been equally as intense. Today's class was really good. I really loved today's class. I honestly have loved seeing the progress throughout the past 2 months of doing Taekwondo and how much more confident I'm feeling in class now, which is also very great. And I was told today, which is fantastic. I had like a little giddy moment. I'm like, are you serious? I have been doing it for 2 months and I'm getting my red stripe on my belt. I don't know if it means the same in every doyoung or if they do the same everywhere, but essentially that means that you're ready for testing. And although I missed the deadline for the test that is happening tomorrow, actually, I am gonna have to test in September just because I joined right at the deadline. Like when I started officially training at the doyoung, I joined right when they had closed submissions for testing for June. So I wasn't able to sign up, I wasn't able to pay for the test. So it's like a whole thing. But come September, I am definitely gonna test and go up to a gray belt because the doyoung I go to does white, then gray, then yellow. I know a lot of doyoungs don't have gray belts, but that's the system that they use, which is like the mandated one by Kiki one. It's like a whole thing. My body is feeling like the brunt of all of the things we did this week. And I have got no doubt that tomorrow my hips will hurt a little bit because Friday training is a specific kind of beast. We worked a lot today about dissociating the hips. It can be a little bit painful sometimes, but it's just because, you know, the hip is not used to all that movement and doing all that. We'll see how I wake up tomorrow. But right now I am feeling kind of maybe a face mask, maybe an eye mask, a lot of moisturizer, maybe putting the hair up, putting on my pajamas. It is starting to feel very nice, that idea. So we are gonna get there. I would say faster rather than slowly. And by the time that I do, you'll see it. But I'm already starting to get the urge to be extra comfy. Guess who finished Cat Massage Therapy Volume 2? It would be me. And it's so funny because Sil got on top of my back, which she's never done. She was a whole loaf on my back, and it was at the perfect moment when I was reading about a cat getting on top of one of the characters' back and giving him an oil massage. Which I know sounds weird, but that's just what it, you know, listen, this is one of those mangas that is not necessary. Is it absurd? Yes. Is it insubstantial? Absolutely, but that is so fun about it. I have loved volumes 1 and 2 and getting in here and knowing that I do not have to process a single thought as I read this. Because honestly, sometimes you just have to disengage the brain after having a tough week, and this is just what you go to. We follow our main character, Nikoyama, I believe. Yes. One day stumbles across a cat massage parlor, and he finds it very intriguing, the concept of a cat giving you a massage. He very quickly develops an addiction for it, and he loves going. He loves seeking that relief and that downtime from a very stressful everyday life. And it gets to the point where his addiction can no longer be hidden, and people in the office find out. The cats then start doing remote work at the office so that all of the company's workers can also get massages on top of going to the actual physical location that the cats are typically at. They get paid in treats and pets and good food, and it is the most wholesome thing ever. Again, it is so insubstantial. Like, you go into this and literally it's just chapter after chapter of the cats giving massages to random people. Well, not random people, but like all the people within a company, and it's the same thing over and over again, but it does the trick every time. We have also since volume 1 gotten introduced to 2 new cats, the assistant manager and then Aroma, who is a cat that introduces aromatherapy massages into the parlor. It's ridiculous. I can't say it with a straight face fully. So I had a great time. It was exactly what I needed to, again, let the brain rest a little bit tonight, because that's just that's where I'm at. After the week I've had, I feel like the universe has been testing me repeatedly, and this is the win that I needed. I gave this 5 stars. I can't not do it. I think it's only 3 volumes as well. I do have the 3rd one. I'm gonna save that for another rainy day, however, so that I don't burn through both of them, even though it's very easy, because again, there's not a lot of dialogue, and then it's, I think, a little, yeah, it's a little bit over 100 pages. So this one is 125, but again, there's a ton of panels that don't even have any text to them, so I could very well read the 2nd one tonight. But will I? Should I? Maybe not so much. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't, because you never know when you're gonna need a little pick-me-up at another time, and that's what we have volume 3 for, which I believe is the last one in the series. Figured we could change sceneries for a little bit and come to the office, because I love reading in here. I love setting up my little ambiance room situation, my timer, all my things on my computer. So we are going to set the mood and the vibe for our next reading session, because why not? I also have a nice little snack of hot Cheetos, and yes, they're cold because I keep them in my fridge. I know a lot of people find that weird, but I swear, I promise, try it out and then come back and tell me whether you thought it was good or not. Chips, when they're cold, it's just so much better. A hot Cheeto, Lay's stacks, whatever it is, if it's cold, it's gonna be better. It enhances the flavor. Scientifically proven, in fact. That said, however, I am going to start Can't Get Enough, and I am so excited about this. I'm hoping I like this equally as much as every other Skyland book, because all of them have been 5 stars so far. So we'll see. I'll report back once I have got some thoughts and have gathered some info. I'll come back and let you know how I'm feeling. I also have my crochet project right here that I might end up touching, because you never really know. I am making a granny square right now. The one part I'm not excited about, however, is the size of it. Please hold, because I've already made oh wait, that's actually a good point. I have made every granny square for the panels for my cardigan. They're complete, which is a total of 27 granny squares. Insane. It took about maybe like a month, a little bit over, to get all of them completed in my downtime. It was really good though. I've been really loving the process of just taking it slow and, you know, finishing when I finish. And now I am making the sleeve granny squares, which are a total of 4 inches bigger, basically, because it has to be 8 by 8 instead of 6 by 6. And the sheer size of this thing, it's huge. Literally look at this thing. It is huge, which maybe to some people it's not. But this thing is huge in comparison to, you know, a regular granny square for the front and back panel. It is indeed a massive difference between one granny square and the next. I obviously love it, so I'm not complaining. It does take me a little bit longer though, which I kind of wish it would not. I kind of wish I could make about 3 or 4 of these a day, because I only need 8 and then I'd be done so much quicker. But realistically, with the amount of rounds, it's a 1 a day sort of ordeal. This is the only one I have made, so I would definitely love to make more progress on the 2nd one, because it is just repetition, which is easy enough, but again, it has a sufficient size for it to take just a little bit longer. And I also don't know where to put these, which is the other thing, because I have the other granny squares on my desk and they fit quite nicely. They're tucked in a little corner right next to the PC case, but these big ones, well, I guess I could put them there. I don't know, I need to find a spot for them so that I can lay them out flat so that they don't start warping shapes, because I don't have them in a flat surface, which has been known to happen before, and I have had to undo some granny squares because of it, because I am stubborn and I just leave them lying around sometimes in ways that I should not. So I need to be responsible. So I'm gonna put that there, and we're gonna set the mood again and get started with Can't Get Enough. I am so excited about this, and hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed. And then we'll do some skincare, because I'm reaching that point. I mean, it's 12:33. We're holding strong in this sleepover, bestie. What's up? You're gonna fall asleep before I do. I'm saying it right now, and I'm gonna draw with Sharpie on your face. In fact, I have it right here. I have it ready to go, because we have got to be ready for every single occasion. So don't you dare fall asleep on me, because you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go on your face. Anyways, it is reaching that time of day again where this thing needs to come off soon, so we'll get there when we get there. But for right now, I am ready to get into some more reading. Oh my god, and then I'm gonna go fetch a cookie, and it's gonna be lovely. I was debating making a cozy drink. I could have made a chai because I don't currently have matcha. I know, sad. I thought about making a chai, but then like, what happens if I go out for breakfast tomorrow? And you guys can come with me because of course it's my treat. I'll take you out for breakfast. An avocado toast with a chai latte sounds mighty nice. So maybe what I need to do, because I do have a live stream tomorrow, but it's at 11 a.m. Maybe I can just wake up early and then go out to a coffee shop and then have some avocado toast and a chai, and that way I don't have a chai tonight and then one tomorrow. Lots to think about. I'll simmer on that. To the reading we go. We have definitely reached the hour where this needs to come off. I am also slowly fading, I'm not gonna lie to you. I read a full 30 pages of Can't Get Enough, and tell me why I was falling asleep. I can't be the first one to fall asleep, that's embarrassing. So I'm gonna take my makeup off and then get right into Betsy's, because I do have a digital copy from the library of Can't Get Enough, simply because I had placed a library hold on the book as soon as it showed up on Libby, because I got a notification for when it landed on my library, and I put the hold in. Oh, initially it was supposed to take like 2 weeks, and then the hold went up, I will assume, when everybody else placed theirs, and then it said that it would have technically taken, I think, about like 2 months. This is how long I've had the book since it released, that I actually got my hold in, I think maybe like 2 or 3 days ago. So it's perfect because I get to read it in bed in my Kindle instead of having to, you know, have the overhead on, especially when it's getting late, and then reading it physically, so I can bounce back and forth between formats, which is always very, very lovely. These are dire times, y'all. I look crazy. Hi. I was halfway through taking my makeup off and my camera ran out of battery. What a crime. So I'm gonna set you back up. We have changed. I can barely see, by the way. I'm looking all kinds of crazy. But again, level of trust I have with my friends. Welcome back to the bathroom. What I was saying is I am ready to put on, I think I have a face mask that I can put on, to be honest. Such a little sheet mask. I'm pretty sure I could be lying, because I feel like I might have already used it. But at least we do have eye patches on so that I can moisturize my under eyes, and something's better than nothing. So I'm ready to do that. I feel like I'm always talking about reality TV when I film these little cozy bookish sleepover videos, but I would love to know if you guys are watching the current season of Love Island USA. Because I would love to know how you're feeling about this season. I know it's actually so funny because I think the first time I ever filmed a cozy bookish sleepover might have been around the same time last year when season 6 was premiering, because I remember talking about season 6 in a video, and it might have been a video of this kind, to be very honest, because I feel like it's the only video in which I talk about my love of reality TV. I know last time I was talking about Singles Inferno. Love Island, dude, this cast is straight up diabolical. It is crazy how nobody has made fully solid connections. Nobody's closed off or close to being closed off. None of the connections feel real or long-lasting to me, which, listen, they don't have to be. It might just be for the summer, but I wanted that feeling that I got with season 6, where season 6 was so good on all different fronts. The romance was amazing, the friendships made were amazing, The entire cast was on the more mature side, so people knew what they wanted, what they were looking for, they knew their worth, they had a lot of self-respect, and yet season 7 is full of people that I think are very emotionally immature, often can come across as very insecure in specifically the dating realm of things. And I think it's been an interesting season to watch because it's almost been unpleasant to watch because of those reasons. But I can't look away. It's like a train wreck that you can't look away from. And I don't know quite how I'm feeling about it yet, especially because I feel like at this point we are 22 episodes in and I feel like I should have like a favorite couple, somebody that I'm rooting for, and I'm rooting for nobody. I like individual people, but I don't like any of the couples, and that is surprising. I'm gonna finish washing this off though, and I'll be back because my eyes, oh, I can't see anything. Alright, there's a lot happening at once right now. I've got the hatch going in the background with my little ambiance, with my little rain noises. So that's gonna be my ambiance ASMR while I am reading, which is gonna be very nice. Cats are trying to find their little spring toy. I first saw these when I went with Gabby actually to a cat cafe. And one of the cats was obsessed with throwing one of these things around. And I was like, oh, I feel like my cats would love these. You can hear Syl in the background just beating that thing against the door, against the wall. She's going ham right now. She's on demon time at the moment. So we just let her be and let her exist. However, I am about to sit back down and continue reading. I can't get enough. Why is my neighbor's dog barking at 12:20 a.m. It is always a mystery. I don't know if I've told you guys the story of how that dog kept me up for, I think it was a straight almost month after they had initially moved in. The dog kept barking and I would not be able to get any sleep. It was definitely something else. It definitely taught me that dogs do not get tired of barking. And while I love dogs, cats are definitely more my speed because they don't bark. And honestly, I live very peacefully because of it. That to say, however, I am gonna sit back down and continue reading this because I am 30 pages in, as I mentioned earlier, and I do want to get to Maverick and Hendrix meeting because so far they have not yet met. They definitely are in the party where they are going to meet, but we just have not crossed paths quite yet. And if there is something about Kennedy Ryan that I can say confidently now after having read 2 of her books, obviously in the same series, the prologue of these books will never not be painful to read, to get through, to take in, not because they're badly written or not because it's cringe to get through, but because the emotional toll it takes on you is more than a prologue should. It is genuinely crazy. This particular book starts out with a moment that we see in book 2, which is Hendrix going over to her mom's house for Christmas. And we see the moment in book 2 where she is grabbing her bags and she's leaving, obviously as a side character. And in this prologue, we see her arrive and realize that something is very awfully wrong. Part of the premise is that she doesn't feel like she needs romance in her life because she has her hands full. Her business is really successful, therefore she is a very successful woman. She has got amazing friends around her, and she is also taking care of her ailing mother, who currently has Alzheimer's. And if you have dealt in any way, shape, or form with a family member who does have dementia, it is very consuming. My granddad, who passed away 2 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago now, it might have been 3 actually, had Alzheimer's, and there was a time where he used to live with both my brother, my dad, and myself. It's cruel to witness. It's very emotionally taxing and also very time consuming depending on what stage they're at. And so reading the prologue where Hendrix is dealing with her mom's Alzheimer's and a very painful episode of it too, where she realizes the extent of how not well her mom is doing, which her mom has not been forthcoming about, and realizing that she has been far away and busy and living her life while her mom is essentially falling apart little by little, was very emotional. And I did cry in the prologue. I didn't record it, mostly because as I was reading, I was having a whole moment and recalling our experience, or what I personally lived through with my granddad. and it was very emotional, I'm not gonna lie. And I am a little bit on the fence about how the rest of the book is gonna play out, because although I didn't know that was gonna be, you know, a big part of the narrative and what her mom is dealing with, I don't know how much more we're gonna get into it. I think it's gonna be a more emotional book for me because of it. Definitely not triggering, but I definitely think it'll allow me to release a few tears. So maybe I need to cry. I'm always down for a good cry. I'll keep you updated as I keep on going. I know at this point of the day, just because it is 2:26, I'm definitely not going to finish this book in this video, but I am obviously going to read this as I head into bed just now, as I wake up, and then probably when I go to the coffee shop. And I also have my yarn right here. I'm probably not going to pick this up tonight, but definitely tomorrow morning. I think it's going to be the activity of choice as well. So really excited about all the things. I'm really excited to see Maverick and Hendrix meet, and I'm really curious to see how their connection is going to develop, because at the start of the book it is mentioned that he was dating one of her friends, and although they're not incredibly close as she is with the other girls in the Skyland series, we do know them to be friendly, and they've just recently broken up. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be a time jump, how she's even going to take Hendrix and Maverick being together in due time, and what the parameters of their relationship is going to be. If they're going to, I know Hendrix doesn't want to be in a relationship, so I can't imagine that they're immediately going to go into, yeah, I'm being serious about wanting a relationship. I think it's probably going to start out as them fooling around to an extent, and then that developing into further feelings. So we'll see when we get there. I think it's only a time will tell situation for sure. And I'll keep you updated on this, but I'm really excited to see how the story develops and how I enjoy this versus the other books in the series. So that's my update for now. I am going to plop down and continue reading this for a little bit. I'm probably going to go to bed by 3, I'm not gonna lie, so that I can get a solid 5 hours and then wake up early, head out to a little coffee shop. You know the drill, you know the vibes already. So that's gonna be the plan at present. Anything could happen. My guys, I fell asleep so hard last night. It was actually crazy. I am so happy that my camera has like a 30-minute cap on filming on clips, because I'm pretty sure I have a 29-minute clip of me sleeping. Oh my god, I was recording as I was reading Can't Get Enough on my Kindle, and next thing I know, I'm waking up at like 6 a.m. when my alarm went off, and I turn off my camera and I just go back to bed, dude. Just for reference, it is currently 9:37 a.m. and I was supposed to wake up somewhat early because I wanted to go to a coffee shop, but I have a stream at 11, so now I can't go to a coffee shop. It's not enough time. And some of you might say, oh my god, but that is enough time. I have to wake up properly and then I have to hop into the shower, get ready, head out, get there, order, eat. I eat so slow, by the way. I could be easily eating for like half an hour, which I know sounds outrageous, but I chew so slow. And I overchew my food. So that's a conversation for a different time. Point is, it is simply not enough time for as much as I would like it to be. Sir, we're not going to a coffee shop. But I did just order the avocado toast I wanted, because I don't have avocados at home at the moment, and the chai latte that I wanted. And we're gonna be happy together. So we're gonna do that instead. Hopefully get some more reading done, because what a tragedy. I literally got to the part where Hendrix and Maverick were meeting, and I fell asleep. What a crime. I would also like to take this opportunity. Why does that sound so formal? I would like to take this opportunity to say how grateful I am for y'all. Listen, I've had a couple of days this week, a couple of days, okay? It's been a tough week. And I've also as you guys might already know, gotten recently diagnosed with ADHD, and the outpour of love I've gotten from y'all since that diagnostic happened, and seeing you guys also speak on your experience of getting diagnosed when you were an adult instead of a child, but having dealt with, you know, the symptomology for a while, and just in general being your sweet selves, watching the videos, supporting the channel, commenting on all of the videos, and just being here. Like, I have had a couple of days where I've just woken up and I have cried. Which I know sounds so ridiculous, but I think it's just kind of hit me recently, especially as I'm approaching the 5-year anniversary of the channel, how grateful I am for y'all and for this that we have managed to build together for the past 5 years. I think I'm the type of person that at times can hyper focus on like, okay, what's next? What are we doing next? And what about this? And what about that? And like, I'm always thinking about the after instead of soaking up the now. And I think I'm having a period of time where I'm obviously having to live in the now so much, which is definitely not how my brain likes to operate. And I think it's allowed me to feel immensely grateful for what I have right now and for you guys and for this amazing, surreal thing that I can call my job. And reality is, and it sounds cheesy because everybody says it, but like, the reality is it wouldn't be possible without you guys. Is only something I could have dreamed of, literally, when I had initially started. And I remember starting my channel almost 5 years ago now. I mean, technically 5 years ago, like a couple of days, give or take. At this point, it's been 5 years. And thinking that this was just gonna be a hobby and not really thinking that much of anything was gonna come out of this. It was middle of the pandemic. I just wanted an outlet to do something with my time because I couldn't work because I was doing makeup at the time. I didn't have any faces. Like, reality is, I didn't have anybody to do makeup on. And so the fact that I started this with the, you know, with the thought of, if nothing comes from this after a while, like, I'm not going to hyperfixate on creating content for too long because this thing soaks up time. It soaks up time, it soaks up energy. And I knew long term, if I didn't see, you know, the fruits of my labor, I wouldn't necessarily do this for too long. And the fact that, you know, the universe conspired in my favor and I've gotten to meet so many lovely people, and that we have managed to build a beautiful community, a beautiful Patreon community, as well as an extension of the main channel, and that we have gone through so much together, and that this is a job. It's just, there are times where it just kind of hits me in random moments, and I feel like these past couple of days it's been hitting me in random moments. I've just burst into tears because it's almost like a hard thing to wrap my head around sometimes. I still at times feel like I haven't fully processed that this is my job and that I do get to do this. And I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the videos, for commenting, for engaging, for being such incredible people, and for taking me at my best, at my worst, at times where I've dealt with grief, at times where I've dealt with an eating disorder, at times when I have been diagnosed with things that really, you know, changed my life, and I've had to readjust and figure out a new routine, and therefore taking it slow, but trying to figure out continuously how to present as the best version of myself, not only for myself, but also for you guys, because you guys deserve it. And to be received with that much love and that much understanding and that much empathy is truly something remarkable, and I will never fully get over it. So thank you for everything, because you guys are absolutely incredible. And I woke up this morning and I just felt like I had to say it, because I woke up yesterday, and as I was editing my my mid-year freakout tag that I could put up that video, I just burst into tears, like, randomly. Like, I had like this moment as I was editing where I was like, dude, this is my job and I love my job, and I genuinely would not change it for anything. And there are moments in which I doubt myself, and I doubt this, and I doubt the situation, and my anxiety goes a long way, and I start wondering if this is really going to be something that is, sustainable, and if it's something that I'm going to be able to do for a really long time, because the reality is I don't picture myself doing anything else. And there are periods of extreme doubt in everything. And then yesterday I was just overcome by the feeling of, holy fuck, like it's real. Like even if I have moments of doubt, like this thing is real and it's proven to work, and we're here and we have been here. And that's nothing short of incredible. And I just had to say thank you, because I wasn't able to say it yesterday morning when I had my moment, because I obviously wasn't filming. And I woke up today and I just felt that I needed to say it. I couldn't leave this video without having said that, so thank you. I'm gonna schedule today's stream that I have. I'm probably gonna schedule that for 11:30 instead of 11 because I would rather have just a little bit of extra time to just lay in my bed and do nothing and read, can't get enough, and then hop on the stream, and also have enough time to have breakfast off the stream. So that is the plan at present. I would also just like the record to show this is what I woke up to. You know, having cats is amazing, but my cats are like dogs. They're no better. Look at what one of the cats did, because I woke up this morning and I had to put it away when I was fetching the camera. You see this? Remember how the yarn was connected to the granny square I was working on? Bestie, no longer, okay? Because one of the cats, while I was asleep, took the liberty to do this. And I believe it was Van, because she's the only one that bites yarn like this, unless she's, you know, taken away from it. But yeah, she bit it off. Sir, I am going, it's also so stiff from her saliva. So I am gonna have to undo this, and then I'm probably gonna, yeah, I think, you know what, let me just undo the whole corner. That'll make more sense to me so that I don't forget a stitch. Okay, so let's undo that, and then what we're gonna do is just make a little knot, okay? Knots will go a long way. So, oh my god. I literally just touched it and the yarn came apart. Okay, no, that's fantastic. That's amazing. Absolutely love my cats. But I totally forgot I had left this. Well, I mean, I fell asleep. There was no way I was gonna remember to put this away because I thought I was genuinely gonna, you know, do something before I fell asleep. So we're gonna make a little knot, a double knot, which is the one way I always put yarn together. I know some people burn it together, but I can't be bothered to do that. I also just, sometimes it makes like these little like crusts, and I know because I'm gonna wear this, that is gonna be uncomfortable, and I'm not trying to get overstimulated because of a freaking crust. So instead we're gonna make a knot, and then I'm gonna fetch the scissors, which I believe I did leave. Oh, I might have them in my purse actually, because I do take yarn sometimes to taekwondo so that I can crochet before I head into class. We need to cut the remaining bits of this and leave just a little bit, you know, leave the ears just very, very short. If you have cats and they're menaces like mine, then you know. And if you don't, how does it feel like to have won the cat lottery? A tragedy has struck. Mistakes were made, friends. I have got my food right here. I did order the avocado toast, but this is what I get for being half asleep and then ordering food, right? I thought I was ordering a chai latte, and as soon as I picked up my order downstairs, I'm like, this shit smells like coffee. And at first, I was like, did they send me the wrong thing? No, I ordered a cappuccino instead. I don't know how I processed cappuccino as chai latte. That is one too many more syllables than what it needs, but alas, I have ordered a cappuccino. At least I ordered it with oat milk. So I'm putting some Splenda in because it is strong, but at least it's good, because I don't particularly love the coffee from this coffee shop. I think, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's their roast, which I doubt, because they're good at literally everything. It must be that sometimes they don't clean out their machines well, and my mom echoes this too. Whenever I tell her like, oh, let's get coffee at Café Unido, she goes, no. Because she always has the speculation that it, you know, it tastes burnt because they don't clean their espresso machine well enough. And it might just be because the one time that I ordered a coffee from them, I did not like it. But today, it's really good actually. It doesn't have any foam because the oat milk that they use doesn't foam up that well. Whatever foam it has just dissipates when it gets here. So sadly, not what I wanted, but maybe it's what I needed. Maybe the universe led me to the right area, to the right place. Maybe the universe was like, you know what you need actually to wake the fuck up, bitch? You need a coffee. So I have a coffee. Should I be drinking coffee? Hopefully it doesn't do anything crazy though, and if it does, I've got my jaw medication just in case. But at least, silver lining, I've got a cozy drink. It's not, whoa, why is this so heavy? I think it was this. I was like, why is the goddamn bag so heavy? At least I've got my food, my avocado toast. A girl cannot complain too much. And I got a coffee. I'm still mad about the coffee. I'm not mad, but disappointed in myself, because how did I read? How did I, you know what? I'm not gonna question it. It's not the first time something like this has happened. So I've learned at this point to not question it, because if there's anybody that can mistake a cappuccino for something else, it's me. I've got a track record. Got updates, friends. Welcome to my kitchen. I have got updates on Can't Get Enough. I am about to cook lunch. It's gonna be a lazy girl lunch, which still requires a level of effort, but maybe not too much, because this is just something that I can make without worrying about, oh, I have to flip the chicken, I have to flip the salmon. So we are going to make some white rice. We're gonna make some edamame, and then I'm going to make a little tuna can, and that's gonna be our lunchy. It's gonna be very simple, straightforward, but also very yummy and with loads of protein, which is what my body needs right now, because even though I had those 2 eggs in the morning, I'm starving. So we are going to start preparing all of these things so that I can eat in about, 30 minutes or so, and continue reading Can't Get Enough. I did just do a little reset in the apartment because, first of all, it's very gloomy outside. It is literally 3:52 p.m., but it looks like it's 7:30. It is insane. It's gonna start raining at any point if it's not already raining. I haven't double checked actually, but it's immensely dark outside. So took that as an opportunity while the sprint is running in my PC to reset the apartment and do all of the dishes that I had left in my sink from last night. Honestly, typical sleepover activity, you just leave everything dirty, take care of it the day after. So I did do all of my dishes. I tidied up the entire living room after I'd made a mess out of it yesterday. I did make my bed, tidied up my bathroom as well from all of the skincare mess from last night, and I am ready to now get cooking now that the kitchen is clean, which I know sounds counterintuitive. However, I cannot cook if the kitchen is dirty. So now that I've done a little reset, I feel ready to cook again. And Can't Get Enough. It's so good. I got to chapter 14, which is page 114. Actually, it's very satisfying. And I'm loving this. I have cried more than once with this book. By the way, let me fetch the rice and the edamame. Gotta grab the rice from the pantry so that we can plop this into the pot and make some rice. So, Can't Get Enough. It's so good. I've cried more than once, which is honestly a joy, which I know sounds crazy to say, oh my God, joy, but you're crying? I am, because the book just elicits that amount of emotion based on Hendrix's situation with her mom. But what I think I'm loving a lot about the book thus far, now that the main characters have met and now that they are chatting more one-on-one, and Maverick is trying to figure out if he wants to invest in Hendrix's companies that she supports through a fund that she made with some sorority sisters. What I've noticed that the book is emphasizing is that not only is Hendrix black, but she is also a big girl. She is plus size, and there's this whole scene in the book that I absolutely loved, and I think that was my turning point to suddenly adoring this read, where it kind of talked a little about this rhetoric that is spread around where plus-sized women do not get handsome men, they don't get fit men, they don't get successful men, and how often in the topic of romance, being plus size essentially equates to dating somebody that isn't cute, that isn't successful, that isn't fit. And I love that Hendrix calls it out in the book of, do you think I'm not his type just because I'm not skinny like you, or because I'm not mixed like you, or light-skinned like you? I want to know where the issue here lies in which you think that I am not his particular type, because it's ridiculous, right? And I really love the way that the book is establishing that, and how Hendrix is so unapologetically herself. She doesn't care about being big. She doesn't make that a part of her personality, and she doesn't point it out or feel insecure and tries to mask it with humor. She is wholly confident in who she is, and being plus size does not define her. It does not limit her. It does not do anything other than present her a very specific way, right? And I really love how Kennedy Ryan is going about Hendrix's character in that regard, because it isn't at the front and center of the book. However, it is being mentioned, but in a very positive light, and I love it. So that element of the book I'm really liking. And I think also the book is doing a really successful job at establishing another conversation, which is so funny because I feel in Love Island that I was talking about yesterday, it is showing up quite consistently in the season, which is people try and change others when they are entering a relationship. I love that still is being very loud. Also, while we're here, let's wash the rice, because in this household we wash our rice. People get into very specific relationships knowing exactly who it is that they're meeting and who it is that they're dating, and yet expecting very different things out of those same people. And the book explores a specific relationship dynamic, or at least mentions it, where Maverick's ex was trying to essentially change him, or at least she had the hope that he would change for her and change his outlook on life and what he wants for himself and what he is seeking out of a relationship, just because she wants very different things. And I really do love how Kennedy Ryan establishes her relationships in her stories in a way that lets it be very clear and known that you do not have to change or chase people in order for a relationship to work, but rather when you find the right person for you, you will be at peace because they will be aligned with your goals, with where you want to head in life, with the things that you want, with your lifestyle, and essentially with your very being. And you shouldn't have to chase after somebody who doesn't align with any of those things, because that's not the way that romance is supposed to go. There are so many people out there, so many people to meet, so many people to potentially date, that why would you settle for the one person who clearly doesn't want the same things that you do? I think it's absurd, and I love that that has become a topic of conversation in the book as well. And, you know, it being pointed out that's not the way that things should go, and that we are collectively side-eyeing it because it's not realistic to get into a relationship masochistically with somebody that you know is not there with you and then just hope that things will change down the line. You're just wasting your time at that point. And also, I'm so deeply sorry, but chasing after a man is embarrassing. So that is not something that we're going to be doing in 2025 or ever, really. So I'm loving it, and I continue to love how Kennedy Ryan establishes all of these very deep, meaningful conversations in every single one of her books, and how she does not disappoint at any point. I absolutely love it. So I'm having the greatest time with this book. And it's breaking my heart to see Hendrix go through what she's going through. We're almost done with washing the rice, by the way. There's still a little bit left of washing to do, maybe once or twice more. But it's really breaking my heart, the situation that she's going through, and them detailing exactly what the experience is like with people with Alzheimer's and dementia, because it's so accurate and it really is the experience. And I love that At the start of the book, see, clear water. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but water is running clear by now. It's also raining. Beautiful. But yeah, at the start of the book, there's this whole author's note from Kennedy Ryan saying that her grandmother specifically had dealt with dementia, and they obviously lived it through with her because they were taking care of her. I look insane right now with this hair. Oh my goodness. But yes, she mentions how her grandmother had Alzheimer's and how she spoke to many caretakers and people in the industry who have dealt with this specific condition. And she did a ton of research. And while everything might not be 100% accurate, it is as accurate a depiction as she can do in regards to her experience and the people that she talked to. And so far I've got no complaints. Like, it really is play by play what I know the situation to be like with my granddad a couple of years ago. There was this whole scene about Hendrix being mistaken for somebody else by her mom. And that is something that genuinely brought me to tears, because I remember when my granddad used to live with us for a period of time when he did have Alzheimer's before he passed, and he would continuously mistake me for my grandmother. And it was surprising because he would always remember my name, but not a lot of other people around us. When he wouldn't remember, he would call me by her name. And I remember when he passed, it brought on this really particular feeling that is discussed in the book about how it leaves you wondering if these stages of dementia and Alzheimer's are brought on by this subconscious, unconscious need to go to a happier place once you don't have anything left and you have lost so much. And how, although that's a depressing and really just awful outlook of it, because we really don't know what brings this on, reality is that it does take them to a seemingly happier spot. And I'm talking about the somewhat good days. I'm not even referencing the ones where, you know, hallucinations might come forth and where they might be unsettled and they can't quite place themselves, because it must be an incredibly disorienting feeling. But I remember wondering that a lot, of, you know, wondering if maybe my grandmother put a piece of herself in me so that when she was gone, because she passed before he did, if he could have a little piece of her through me and the rest of us and not feel so alone. And I know it sounds incredibly sad, but I remember thinking about that a lot, and I even remember writing poetry about it. I have never in my life written poetry, not specifically outside of class for a grade. And for some reason, that period of time really brought me to write poetry, and I still have it. You know, something might come of it one day. Maybe I'll decide to one day publish it. I've got friends who have encouraged me a lot to do so, because they're like, this is beautiful, and I think it, you know, it might help people and it deserves to be seen. But it's really intimidating to put like the barest of thoughts out there like that. And I mean, poetry is also like highly criticized, specifically modern one, because, you know, people want to say that it's like Tumblr poetry and that it doesn't really have any structure or merit to it. So I feel like that bit of it is also really intimidating. But I feel like overall the book is bringing me back to all of those things. And although it does bring like a heavy feeling with it, I welcome it with open arms, because that's just the nature of life. You live your life to the full extent that you can, and then at some point it comes to an end and there's nothing else to do about it. And so I'm choosing to take the experience as reminiscing about a person that I really loved and appreciated, and celebrating them for who they were, and enjoying the book for what it is as well, even though it might be really sad at times. So that's where I'm at with the book. It's really good. I'm having a good time. So that's my update. I'm gonna go put all these things on the stove and then wait for them to cook so that I can eat. Look at this bowl. It looks so freaking good. So we have got the white rice, we have got the tuna, and then the sweet and spicy edamame. And I am so ready to sit down and eat this. I'm going to continue reading. Can't get enough as I do so. I'm just gonna plop it on the Kindle because I find it really difficult to eat and then, you know, flip the pages. I can't do that. I know some people can. I personally cannot. So I'm going to read it digitally instead and eat this also. Excuse my Christmas bowl. This is my comfort bowl, okay? When I'm like tired or feeling down, this is the bowl I use. It's also just convenient, okay? It's also my only glass bowl like this. Anyways, don't look at it too much. I'm really excited though to eat this because it's It's gonna be so good. Coming in with one last update because I am reaching the point of night where I definitely want to go to bed. So I think I'm gonna turn in early tonight. It is 8:42 p.m. and while I had lunchies earlier, I have been reading Can't Get Enough on my Kindle. And I've also been crocheting. Listen, from when you last saw this granny square to where we are at now, we are doing really good. I'm missing 2 rounds, so this is 9 rounds in. I need 11 rounds, and I have been measuring that as I have been crocheting it just to make sure that it is the right size. I have had a pretty good evening and a good end to my day, so it is time for you to head home, besties, after our cozy bookish sleepover. I will also update my bookmark on Can't Get Enough, because the last we spoke I was on chapter 14. Now I'm on chapter 17, and that should be page 146, so not bad at all. This book goes by really, really fast, and this is something I love about Kennedy Ryan and her books, is that the characters don't get together right away. So I think that's nearly, if not a little bit over 30% done with the book. I'm honestly not sure, but I think a third of the way through sounds about right. And it's all just tension, and I love romance books that do tension and yearning right, where you get to see the characters have intimate conversations. They are kind of battling their attraction for each other, but it's clear that it's there, and it's there in the little gestures for each other. When Maverick sends Hendrix very specific links or things that he knows that she needs, and there is this beautiful moment where it's mentioned that typically successful people are not thinking of themselves at any point of the time because they're focusing on other things, and there is no space for themselves. And if he can step in and think of her when she cannot think of herself, he will. And oh my god, it's like everything that I look for in a romance book in terms of, again, the acts of service and those quiet moments of intimacy. And it's also just what I like in romance and dating in just general. So she's doing it right. I'm loving it. Things have been kind of peaceful so far in the mom and the illness front, but it's because there is a point of the book where we'll likely see Hendrix with her mom in Charlotte. And so I'm thinking that the reason why we're not seeing it now is because we're gonna see it full force in probably a handful of chapters. So I'm kind of prepping myself mentally for when that will arrive. But so far I'm having a good time with it, like I expected myself to have. So that's very exciting. However, this is the end of today's video. I am definitely wanting to reset for the night, maybe take a little nighttime shower and head right into Betsy's very soon after I have a little bite to eat, make sure that I, you know, get a little bit more food in me before I go to bed. So that at present is the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a massive thumbs up down below. As always, let me know what you're currently reading. Have you read Can't Get Enough? Have you read Cat Massage Therapy or Kiki's Delivery Service? What are you up to? How are you feeling? How has your last week been? I would love to know all of those things down in the comments. And if you reach the very end of the video, let us leave some basketball emojis if you got to the end of the video. The last thing I read of Can't Get Enough was them at a basketball game, so it feels fitting given the circumstances. So if you reach the very end, make sure to leave a basketball down below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already for more content like this. And as always, if you want to support the channel further, I always massively appreciate it. It's definitely not something you have to do, but if you're ever looking for extra content and to support the channel outside of watching the videos, which is honestly the best way to do so, as a little extra, I do have a Patreon. It is always linked down below. We have a book club and a Discord server, and I take a very live stream heavy approach. So we do sprints every Sunday, we do plan with me's every Saturday, and then we have other sporadic live shows throughout the week, like cozy game nights and cozy hobbies hangout and movie nights and Discord chats and Discord sprints. So there's always a ton of fun stuff happening over there in case you guys do want to join it. Again, you know where to find it. Thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video, and make sure to check them out also at the link on top of the description. It'll be surfshark.com/Mel, and you can use code Mel for an extra 4 free months of Surfshark VPN. So don't say I didn't tell you. I love you guys the mostest, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye, see.